Namaste everybody. In my previous video, I explained some of the paragraphs of the story in the Kingdom of Fools, and today I am going to explain the next paragraph. So, you have seen in this story that the disciple was brought to the court of the king, and he brought for the execution. At that time, the disciple reminded his guru in his heart, and his guru arrived at that moment in the court of the kingdom. Because the guru was very wise, he had magical power. So he arrived the court of the king to save his disciple. The moment the guru arrived, he scolded the disciple and told him something in a very low voice. Then he went to the king and addressed him, "O wisest of king, who is greater, the guru or the disciple?" He went to the king and asked him, "Who is greater, the guru or the disciple?" The king replied, "Of course, the guru is greater, no doubt." And he again asked, "Why do you ask such question?" Then the guru replied that, "Then put me to the stake first. Put my disciple to death after me." Up to this, we have discussed. Now, let us move to the next paragraph of this story. When the disciple heard this, he understood and began to clamor. Clamor means started shouting, "Me first, you brought me here first, put me to death first, not him." So when the disciple heard that his guru was telling to the king that put him to death first, then the disciple also started telling that you brought me first here, so put me to death first. The guru and the disciple now got into a fight about who should go first. The king was puzzled by this behavior. He asked the guru, "Why do you want to die? We chose him because we needed a fat man for the stake." Here, the king asked from the guru, because there was a fight between guru and his disciple, who should go to the stake first. So both of them were fighting. The king was shocked to see the behavior of the guru and disciple. He asked, "Why do you want to die?" The king told to the guru that we chose your disciple because we needed a fat man, and your disciple is fit for the stake. "You should not ask me such question. Put me to death first," replied the guru. Again, the guru told to the king that don't ask such type of question and put me to death first. "Why, there are some mystery here. As a wise man, you must make me understand." So here the king was shocked to see, and he thought in his mind that there are some mystery. So, as a wise man, you make me understand. Why do you want to die first? The guru said, "Will you promise to me? Will you promise to put me to death if I tell you?" asked the guru. The king gave him his solemn word. The guru took him aside out of the servant's earshot and whispered to him, "Do you know why we want to die right now? The two of us, we have been all over the world, but we have never found a city like this or a king like you. That stake is the stake of the God of justice. It is new. it has never had a criminal on it. Whosoever dies on it first will be reborn as the king of this country, and whosoever goes next will be the future minister of this country. We are sick of our ascetic life. It would be nice to enjoy ourselves as king and minister for a while. Now keep your word, my lord, and put us to death. Me first, remember. Here the Guru told to the king that if I will tell you why do I want to die first, then promise me that you will put me to death first. Then the king was ready, so the Guru took the king one side out of the servant's earshot, and spoke in a very low voice in his ear. The Guru said, uh, do you know why we want to die right now? He said, we have been travel all over the world, but we have never found a city like this or a king like you. That stake is the stake of the God of justice, and this is new also. It has never had a criminal on it. It means nobody is put to death on this stake. So whosoever dies on it first will become the king of the country, and whosoever goes next will be the minister of this country. And the Guru further said that we are sick of our ascetic life. Ascetic life means the life of the saint or sadhu. So we are fed up of our ascetic life, and it would be a nice to enjoy ourselves as a king and minister for some time. Now you must keep your word, my lord, and put us to death first. The king was now thrown into deep thought. Now the king started thinking very deeply about this. He did not want to lose the kingdom to someone else in the next round of life. So, in the next life, the king did not want to lose the post of king. He needed time, so he ordered the execution postponed to the next day and talked in secret with his minister. So, what the king did, he postponed the execution and he secretly talked with his minister. He said, it's not right for us to give about the kingdom to others in the next life. Let us go on the stake ourselves, and we will be reborn as king and minister again. Holy men do not tell lies, he said, and the minister agreed. So, the king told the minister that it is not good for us to give our kingdom to others in next life. So both of us go on the stake, and we will reborn as king and minister in our next life. This holy man, holy means this saint, cannot tell a lie. And after listening that, the minister was agreed. So he told the executioner, the king told the executioner is a person who gives capital punishment. We will send the criminals tonight. When the first man comes to you, put him to death first, then do the same to the second man. Those are my orders, don't make any mistake. Now the king told to the executioner that tonight we will send the criminals. So when the first man comes to you, you put him to death first, and then do the same to the second man. Those are my orders, and you will not make any mistake. That night the king and his minister went secretly to the prison. Prison is a cell of jail, and released the guru and the disciple. Release means give freedom. Disguised themselves as the two, and as arranged before with loyal servants, were taken to the stake and promptly executed. Here disguise means changed his appearance, and promptly means immediately. So here that night, what happened? The king and minister went secretly to the prison, and the king released the guru and the disciple, and he changed his appearance like guru and disciple, and as arranged beforehand with faithful servants, were taken to the stake and promptly executed. It means both the king and the minister were executed. Now, when the bodies were taken down to be thrown to crows and vultures, the people panicked. Here, panic means terrified. So, when the dead bodies of the king and the minister were taken down to be thrown to crows and vultures, the people were terrified. They saw before them the dead bodies of the king and the minister, because the people saw that this is the body of our king and the minister. So the whole city was in confusion. All night they mourned and discussed the future of the kingdom. Here, mourn means grieved for the death of the king and the minister. So the whole night the people of that kingdom grieved for the death of the king and the minister, and they were started thinking about the future of their kingdom. Some people suddenly thought of the guru and the disciple and caught up with them as they were preparing to leave the town unnoticed. Some people suddenly thought about the guru and the disciple, and both of them were ready to leave the town unnoticed. So both the guru and disciple were caught, and the people of that kingdom told to the guru and the disciple that we people need a king and a minister, said someone. Other agreed. They begged the guru and the disciple to be their king and their minister. So the people of that kingdom requested the guru and the disciple to become their king and their minister. It did not take many arguments to persuade the disciple. Here, persuade means convince. So the disciple was easily convinced. He was ready to become the minister, but it took longer to persuade the guru. But the guru was not convinced easily. After all, they finally agreed to rule the kingdom of the foolish king and the silly minister on the condition that they could change all the old laws. So the guru and the disciple were ready to become the king and the minister, and they also put the condition that they will change the old laws. From then on, night would again be night and day would again be day, and you would get nothing for a dudu. It became like any other place. So after that, the night would again be night. It means the night was changed into night and day was changed into day, and you could not get anything for a dudu, and this kingdom became like any other place. So you have seen in this story that how did the guru save the life of his disciple with the help of his wisdom. So this was the story. I hope you all will understand. Thank you.